Okay, so I wasn't planning on actually making a video today, but considering this, I'm now obsessed. I look horrible. I'm now obsessed with What Would You Do, and it's a great show. And the host himself is Latino. Now, the reason why I bring that up is the episode I saw today was about immigration and illegal immigrants in this country. Now, it hits home to me because I have family that are Latin. And I guess I got blessed by the grace of God because my parents are Argentinian that you don't see the Latin tan that I have. I have the Latin tan soul on the inside, but I don't have it on the outside. Most Argentinians are Italians that are immigrated to Argentina and Central America around the late 40s, I think, and it's so hurtful when I see this happening. And don't get me wrong, I have no problem with any other race at all. I don't like it that some Latin men think it's okay to catcall at a woman. And I understand sometimes in a culture that might be accepted. To me, it's not, but that's not what this is about. Everyone has a right to work. Everyone has the ability to make money, and immigration it's not an easy thing, and it's not a topic that I was never expecting to tackle, but I guess I'm only giving my opinion on it. Coming from a Latin family, my mom immigrated here when she was only 17, and worked herself through high school to get my grandmother here. My dad came here when he was 19, worked his ass off. Like, my parents worked their butt off in order to come to this country with no English language skills, and did the best with what they could by picking it up. My grandmother had worse English skills, and to this day is still not that good, but still. It makes me upset because people are telling these men and women to go back to their countries, and I don't speak Mexican. Go fuck yourself. And it's sad because unfortunately this type of prejudice happens in my own family. It is very true. My mother, my sister, my brother sometimes, my dad sometimes does it. And it makes me upset because they worked hard to get to where they ought to be. Whether by legal bounds or not, they did it. And they ended up being legal in the end run of it all after coming here. I don't know the whole story on their part, so I'm not even going to go on that. But whether they're here illegally or not, I'll agree with the point that was made on the show, that most Americans don't want to do half the shit jobs that are out there that pay the most money. Garbage men, the worst sanitation jobs you can think of, babysit, nanny jobs that are all, and this goes across the board for nannying. A lot of it is the Hispanic culture. I was raised by a Hispanic nanny. Both my parents worked, and this woman was more like a mother to me than anybody else in the world. More than my mother could. She lived in our house. My dad had a room built for her in our basement, in our first house that we ever lived in. And she knew when I was afraid of something. She knew how to comfort me. Nothing that my mom ever really knew about. She knew things about me that my parents will never know. And they work these thankless jobs because they will do anything to support their families. And for someone to say to me that they have no right to be here and that their families have no right to be here is despicable. Because if you read what was written on the Statue of Liberty, the first line reads, "Give us your poor, you're hungry." And it shocks me how much prejudice, discrimination, and racism is against Latin people. For these two days, I've been making videos and I've been crying. It's unfair, and it is completely not right. And I've been discriminated for for educational reasons. I've been fired due to educational reasons because I don't have that, because of my limitations. And we're getting down on people because they have a different skin tone. And what shocked me the most was a black man, a very black man, very proud of who he was, decided that he was going to open his mouth and say that these people need to get the fuck out and need to go back to their country, or if he doesn't get out of the store, that he was going to call the cops. Whereas in 1960, this man probably could not get a job, could not date whoever he wanted, had to be in separate schools, drink from a separate fountain, had to live on separate parts of the town. How funny people like that forget about their prejudice for their culture. It is damn outright despicable. And don't get me wrong, I was like my family. I was a racist little bitch. But I was living off what my family had told me. Up until maybe when I was 16 years of age, and I realized this is America. From 1920 and even earlier on, people have been coming to this country of different races, different cultures, and different religions. And throughout history, there is one racist thing after another, and there's one more despicable thing after another, saying that this is America and we're Americans and we're not going to take this. Show some respect for the family that you have been raised in. Your parents are probably immigrants too. Maybe you're first generation, maybe you're second. And it goes with being the fact that if you're taught to be racist, guess what? You're going to be racist. And it is completely appalling to undergo and understand that, and to accept that it's okay to act like that in this country is completely fucked up. One of the other men, who was an American man, who was apparently a professional opera singer, had gone to Mexico and went up to this person. It was a deli that basically this whole thing is going on, and the server person did not want to serve them because, well, they were Mexican. And this man goes up to the guy behind the counter and says, "I went to Mexico. I didn't speak a word of Spanish. Yet I wasn't denied food service. So what's your fucking problem?" Without that last part. And it's quite annoying. And for me, as a woman, a Latin woman, a proud Argentinian at that, and I've made no bounds about it in videos time and time again, that I'm a proud Latin Argentinian Italian woman that is first generation instated in the U.S. I have so many different cultures and freaking things bounding through my veins, because that is my family bloodline, and I am so proud of that. There is no reason to commit yourselves to a thought and idea to hate somebody or to generally degrade someone like that because of their skin color, race, religion, or whatever thought they come up with. And people are people themselves. They're going to think whatever the fuck they want, but you've got no right to bring them down. And it goes without saying that discrimination like this is just crazy. And I don't understand how people can possibly live this way. If we don't come together soon, this world will implode on itself. And no one will be safe. It happened, and let's be honest, the Holocaust was a scary thing and almost reached around the world, and it was slowly gaining towards Europe. I fear for our country, because I have a feeling something like that could happen on a more epic proportions, because of the fact that their hatred is now more rising now more than ever. In a world of 2011, where people are supposed to be accepting and understanding, choose not to be, and choose to hate, and to gives seething anger that is no point in having it. So the next time you look at somebody, really have a conversation with them first before you even consider that they're a dirty fucking Mexican. And by the way, for all you haters watched my video time and time again for some unnamed reason, Mexican, not a language. Spanish is. So is German. So is French. And, so is Portuguese. Would you like me to go on? Think about your parents as well. They might be immigrants too. Now, if you don't like anything I've said, and you don't like my opinion, that's perfectly fine. You can unsubscribe right now. You can leave hateful comments for all I care. You can wish me to die. I'm still going to be here. As I said in the beginning of the video, it is my opinion. You don't have to take it to heart. But it's what I believe. And with that, I'm going to go. Te quiero a todos, español. Mi corazón, mi corazón de todos. Hasta luego. Peace.